What is up guys, Andy Forresty Runner here, back with another video, and today we have some Alphafly unboxing to do. We're going to be going through when I anticipate trying these things out for the first time. I know loads of you guys have already got them and have probably already been out on them. I'm very, very jealous, I can't wait. But before that, we've got a treadmill run to do. Okay, very quick 5-minute walk warm-up done. I'm just trying to get into the habit of walking first just to warm everything up. And now I'm going to jump into a nice 45-minute, hopefully, fingers crossed, treadmill run. Everything feels okay today, just like it did yesterday. No real progress, but no real regression either. And that's what this week is all about. It's just taking baby steps, seeing how things go in my normal routine, and if that doesn't work this week, then obviously we're going to adapt this next week and either dial it back or take it forward again. But before we go any further, I'm just going to strip off to my vest, because one thing I've learned on a treadmill is that, my word, it gets hot. I'm definitely going to have to invest in a decent fan over Christmas, so I've started wearing vests instead of t-shirts. It gets so hot, despite the fact that it is slightly snowing outside. It's ridiculously warm in here. So I'm going to crack on with this. Fingers crossed it will be well. I'll give you a debrief when we get home and we're done. And we'll talk all about the Alphaflys. So that's another 45 minutes in the bank, and you can see the smile on the face. It makes me so happy and so grateful just to be able to run. I'm just trying to be a little bit more grounded and a little bit more sort of humble. I was very frustrated yesterday. I'm still frustrated at the moment. Obviously this isn't how you want to be running, but you've got to take the small wins, and I've been able to run Saturday, Monday and Tuesday consecutively with a small 2k run on Sunday. All obviously very relaxed and very easy pace, but it feels so good. And today was a bit of a step forward. I'm taking the small wins as they come. I've got to be honest with you, I feel a lot better today. There's a few bits and pieces that I'm doing which is helping. The ankle just did not play a part in anything today. The only aftermath I have from today's run is the ache in the calf. The ankle didn't hurt when running, and it hasn't hurt since. And that's mainly down to a bit of a post-tib stretch that I've been doing over the last few days, really loosening up the post-tib, because that's been getting obviously very tight where there's been some compensation. That's pulling, that's right on the area where the calf is hurt anyway. So the combination of loosening that has loosened the ankle, and today felt so smooth. I made sure I did those post-tib stretches this morning, which is simply, it's hard to show you, but it's simply where I'm bending the ankle over to stretch the top of the ankle and up the side of the post-tib. And it feels such a good stretch, and that's helping immensely. So today, coming off the back of the run, it felt better than yesterday, smoother. I increased the pace by 0.5 of a kilometre per hour, so from 11.1 to 11.6, which has gone from 8:42 per mile to 8:20 per mile, keeping a 1:38 average heart rate. Feeling darn good, and making my debut on Zwift as well. So just a quick shout out to the Novablasts and the Noble Pro treadmill that I'm using. Those two are the combination of the century for me at the moment. Coming back from this injury, lower impact on the treadmill. These things, great cushioning, 8mm drop. That's going to bring me on to why I'm going to be having to postpone my testing in the Alphaflys, at least for a couple of weeks. I was so excited to get these things, and we'll move on to that now. So just giving you a quick injury update, a quick running update. Another positive run. Rest day tomorrow, Wednesday. And yeah, we'll see how we feel on Thursday. Hopefully we can take these small baby steps and aim for that outdoor run Friday this week, and then moving into Saturday, we'll see how we feel for a 60-minute effort. But the Alphaflys have come. So obviously the story behind these, a lot of you guys know, before Christmas I posted about the Nike end of year sale. They were flogging off their Volt Pack colorway Alphaflys for half price. So I managed to pick up a pair. as did a lot of you guys, for £135. So let's just take a moment to appreciate this. Now, there's a reason why I haven't ever purchased these shoes at full price. It's that I was never a fan of the Tempo Next Percent. The AirPods felt just very peculiar, and the nylon plate in that shoe did absolutely naff all. They felt heavy, sloppy, bulky, and just terrible. I've been assured by a few people that this feels a lot snappier, still feels bulky, still can feel quite heavy and clunky, but it certainly feels a lot more livelier than that, and that's due to the carbon plate working with the AirPods rather than this nylon plate. So I'm holding you guys to it. I never wanted to spend £260, £270 on this shoe. I was petrified that I was going to waste my money. But for £133 or £135, I feel it's worth a punt. Trying out their best shoe. Obviously, we've got the Alphafly 2 coming soon, so I know they're trying to flog these off, but it just gives me a little bit of an idea as to whether these shoes are going to work for me, if they're a potential marathon racing shoe, and if they are, it's going to sow a seed in my mind as to whether I want to jump on the Alphafly 2 train whenever that arrives. So, why am I not going to be running in this thing for a couple of weeks? Obviously, I'm being careful with my calf. That's number one priority. I've got the Nova Blast's 8mm drop, keeping the pressure off the calf. And a couple of you have asked me, and I keep forgetting I'm saying these things as if you guys know what I'm talking about. For those of you who aren't aware of what the drop is, it's a difference in stack height from the back to the front. So the foam volume here might be 40mm and this might be 30, meaning we have a 10mm heel to toe stack height. It's not in this shoe, we'll talk about what it is, but that's just a visual illustrative idea as to what I mean. And so these things have an 8mm drop, meaning if your heel is higher up, there's less pressure on your calf and Achilles, meaning that when you're recovering from that, it's going to be putting less pressure through the Achilles and calf, and meaning that it's going to be less tense when you're running, and that's what I need at the moment. When you go to a lower drop shoe, that's when you're putting a little bit more pressure through the Achilles and calf area, and obviously then you need to be careful in transitioning to those lower drop shoes, especially down to those zero drop shoes. So this thing, why am I avoiding this for the moment? Well, this is a 4mm drop shoe. It's a little bit lower. Now, I'm obviously used to running in Hoka's around 4 to 5mm drop. That is kind of like my sweet spot. I really do enjoy that drop. Between 4 to 6mm is my sweet spot. But I feel at the moment, whilst there's a recovery going on, I might be pushing my luck a little bit. And one thing that the wise old Kofuzi said in one of his reviews about this thing a while ago, which I totally agree with when walking around in it, is he said when you're actually walking around in this shoe, it almost feels like a negative drop. It feels like you're pushing back on your heel, and I totally get it. I felt it when I was walking around in them. It's like the AirPods felt like they were pushing me back. And this is a shoe where you really need to, I think, I haven't even run in it, but you guys are going to be able to correct me if I'm wrong. It's a shoe I feel you're going to need to be mid-foot and forefoot landing to get the most out of it. I feel like if I'm heel striking, I'm really going to be putting so much pressure through that Achilles and calf. Unnecessary pressure. I feel like this is going to be one of those shoes that if you are good with your form, mid-foot and forefoot, it's going to work for you really well. They say it saves you at the end of a marathon. They say it's the most efficient. I can understand why with the volume of foam and stuff. I also feel like if you're one of those runners like me who tends to get sloppy towards the end of a marathon and your form goes and you start heel striking, it could be rather detrimental to you. Whereas I feel like the Vaporfly with the higher drop keeps you on your toes a little bit more. I always feel the Vaporfly when I'm running a marathon in them, like they continually propel me forward. That is obviously something that I may or may not ever find out in these shoes, but I feel like with the lower stack height might be a little bit more of a challenge than in the Vaporfly. So that's really the main reason why I'm holding fire. Also, just from the carbon plates, I need to work through my natural gait cycle. I think the next shoe I'm going to step into after I feel brave enough to step out of the Nova Blast is going to be the Speeds with the nylon plate, just to feel what that feels like. Obviously, when you run in carbon plates, they take away your natural gait cycle. You're landing on the outside of your foot, most of us do, roll through the toes and push off on our big toe. And with the carbon plate, you really are, because it's so rigid, you're just kind of landing and just pushing off. So I need to work, obviously, biomechanically. I'm getting my foot, ankle and calf working correctly before I consider stepping into something that has got a carbon plate in it. So there's a couple of reasons there, mainly the drop. Also, I need to work on that natural biomechanics to get things working well. But overall, I am super excited to try them. I just don't think it's going to be for 2 or 3 weeks. I'm having a lot of you message me on Instagram saying how are they, what are they like, and this is kind of to address the fact that I'm going to be trying them, but you're just going to have to wait a little bit. But I hope you guys have been able to try your Alphaflys that you got at Christmas, because I know so many of you got them, and I'd love to hear in the comments below what your thoughts are on them, especially if this was your first run. If you've only just got them, I'd love to hear what you think of them. So that's it for today, guys. Hopefully a positive update on the running. Baby steps, taking it one step at a time, making my debut on Zwift, feeling good, and hopefully taking more steps towards this weekend, and we'll see how we're feeling then, making that judgment call leading into next week. Then hopefully next week I'll have a better idea as to when I can test these shoes. So that's it from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Until then.